It's Thursday, January 24th. Nearly 2 decades after it was first speculated that she would, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has taken the political plunge. As General Secretary in charge of Uttar Pradesh East, Priyanka Gandhi will be pitted directly against both Prime Minister Modi, who represents Varanasi, and Chief Minister Adityanath, who has held sway over the region, recent setbacks in Gorakhpur notwithstanding. As Congress spokespersons insisted, Priyanka, often described as charismatic and an effective political communicator, would galvanize the party, particularly in Uttar Pradesh. In Amethi, party workers invoked comparisons with her grandmother, the late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, reportedly coining a new catchphrase, Priyanka Gandhi Andhi hai, dusri Indira Gandhi hai. It's not an appointment, it's a coronation, the BJP said, reiterating a point the Prime Minister often makes on the campaign trail.
It is a public submission by the Congress party that Rahul Gandhi has failed as the Adhyaksh, as the president of the Congress party, and that's the reason as to why we have appointment of his sister today, Priyanka Vadra ji. Is India one family or India is beyond one family is the question that the country is asking today.
BJP वाले भी थोड़े घबराए हुए हैं.
Fresh from his party's success in elections to the 3 Hindi heartland states last month, Rahul Gandhi is hoping that in Uttar Pradesh his party will not be reduced to a marginal player. While declaring that the Congress will not play on the back foot, he adopted a conciliatory tone towards what many believe would be a formidable alliance in Uttar Pradesh. The Congress, remember, has been kept out of the SP-BSP RLD tie-up in the state.
कांग्रेस पार्टी बैक फुट पे कहीं नहीं खेलने वाली. कांग्रेस पार्टी फ्रंट फुट पे खेलेगी. मैंने पहले भी कहा, मायावती जी और अखिलेश जी का मैं पूरा आदर करता हूँ. मायावती जी और अखिलेश जी ने अपना गठबंधन बनाया और हम तीनों का लक्ष्य बीजेपी को हराने का है. तो हमारा कोई मायावती जी और अखिलेश जी से कोई दुश्मनी नहीं है, प्यार है, मगर हमें कांग्रेस पार्टी की विचारधारा के लिए लड़ना है. तो अब हम उत्तर प्रदेश में पूरे दम से लड़ेंगे. अगर वो बातचीत करना चाहते हैं आगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
Uttar Pradesh remains key to the BJP's re-election chances, a fact underscored by this statistic. 1 in every 4 BJP MPs comes from Uttar Pradesh. As protests against the Citizenship Amendment Bill in Assam enters the 4th week, an under-pressure Union Home Ministry has had to issue a set of clarifications. The ministry has now said Indian citizenship will not be granted to any foreigner without the consent of state governments concerned, and that every application for citizenship will be inquired into by the Deputy Commissioner or District Magistrate concerned, who will carry out due diligence and submit it to the state government. What is the Citizenship Amendment Bill? The bill passed by the Lok Sabha and awaiting Rajya Sabha nod seeks to allow undocumented migrants who are Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains and Parsis from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh to become eligible for citizenship. Presently, an immigrant applying for citizenship must have lived in India for 11 of the last 14 years to be in consideration. If this is passed, for the section of migrants mentioned above, the criteria is relaxed to 6 years, meaning, if passed, Hindu undocumented migrants from Bangladesh identified in the National Register of Citizens updation exercise will not be deported, but will get legal recognition as citizens. This, indigenous Assam group say, is against the letter and spirit of the Assam Accord, which commits to identifying and deporting all illegal migrants, something which is expected to be carried out once the NRC is updated. The Home Ministry spokesperson though clarified that to be eligible for the relaxed criteria for citizenship, the applicant should have been subjected to religious persecution in any of these 3 countries they come from, and the inquiry by the state government must establish that. The Home Ministry is also reportedly considering a proposal to provide incentives to those people who want to settle anywhere in India except the Northeast. Data released by the National Centre for Disease Control shows 49 swine flu deaths in the first 2 weeks of this month alone. 1,694 new cases of swine flu have been reported in the period. States have been put on high alert following the spike in cases. Of the 49 deaths, 31 have been reported from Rajasthan. Swine flu is a respiratory disease caused by a strain of the H1N1 influenza. The strain originated in pigs, hence the name, but is now a human disease, the symptoms of which are similar to those of a seasonal flu. They include fever, cough, sore throat, body aches, and chills. Pregnant women, children under 5, the elderly, and those with serious medical ailments and impaired immune systems are susceptible to the flu. India's data must be controlled and owned by Indian people and not by corporates, especially global corporations. For India to succeed in this data-driven revolution, we will have to migrate the control and ownership of Indian data back to India. In other words, Indian wealth back to every Indian.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that was Mukesh Ambani, India's richest man and chairman of Reliance Industries, speaking at the Vibrant Gujarat Summit last week. Ambani was talking about data sovereignty, which is the idea that data is a national resource and so should be guarded and utilized. Since its inception, most data on the internet has flown freely across international borders. But as more and more of the human population comes online, and with big data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence requiring huge data sets, countries and corporations have started to pay closer attention to who actually gets to own, store, and use data. In some countries, this has led to a policy called data localization. Data localization is a legal mandate for companies to collect, store, and process certain kinds of data within national boundaries. For example, the Reserve Bank of India requires all payments data to be kept within the country. This means that every time you buy something online, the record of that end-to-end transaction can only be kept on a server in India and not in a data center in the US or China, even if the service you are using is based there. Which is often the case today because of the high cost of setting up local servers capable of handling the colossal bandwidth that a country like India with its 460 million users could demand. Australia, for instance, requires all health records to be kept within the country. China allows very little data to leave, forcing companies to ask permission before they can transfer data out. Across the world, data localization is becoming popular and it could soon get much bigger in India too. The Justice Sri Krishna panel's draft data protection law from 2018 proposed requiring companies to keep a copy of all personal data within the country, although non-sensitive information data would be allowed out. Other drafts of laws, including a proposed e-commerce regulation bill, a cloud computing bill, also included rules that would force companies to keep data within India's borders. Proponents of data localization argue that it will make law enforcement easier, since Indian agencies currently have a difficult time getting data from American technology companies. Keep Indian data under Indian laws rather than allowing other countries or companies like Google and Facebook to potentially spy on Indians. Help nurture an Indian artificial intelligence industry, since companies need large data sets for artificial intelligence to work. Those opposed to localization believe it could splinter the internet, making it much harder for startups and innovative technologies to operate across borders. Increase costs, because until now, companies mostly made data storage decisions based on which servers would be cheapest. Endanger privacy, since individuals would not have the choice to store data in a country that has stronger protections than India, which does not yet have a data protection law. Arguments like Ambani's about Indians getting back control of their own data have become popular because they fit into an India-first narrative. Yet, in this vision, corporations like Ambani's Jio, which see data as the new oil, would have nearly unfettered access to Indian data. Considering the government's lackadaisical attitude to data protection, as displayed with the Aadhaar project, many questions have been raised about whether that would indeed benefit all Indians or just some Indian companies. Some have even asked whether data localization would violate the fundamental right to privacy. And more practically, there is the larger matter of whether India, where electricity remains an issue, has sufficient infrastructure to host all that data locally. Unsurprisingly, companies like Ambani's and the Adani Group are investing in building data centers in India. Love your morning fix? Help support our journalism. Subscribe to Scroll Plus using the link in the description.